So let's get to this preview. Warriors Lakers. I asked you to look at the best lineups that the Lakers had in the series against Memphis. Now, they're probably going to make some adjustments. I don't think they're going to play them the same way that they played Memphis. But what are we looking at as far as lineups for the Lakers?
We are looking at D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis.
So
It's their money lineup.
Is that their starting five?
That is their starting five.
Yeah. It's a good lineup. It's a really good lineup. Now, if you're a Warriors fan who watched D'Angelo Russell, I think you're comfortable with that matchup with Steph.
Oh, yeah.
Now, he's not going to guard Steph. I'm sure they'll be creative. I'm sure Vanderbilt's going to take some time, on him
Schroeder,
mostly. And then, and they'll get them both into action and try and get, Reeves Reeves could play okay. Steph will want to bust him, but they're going to, that's a really, really good lineup. And it just kind of tells you, the way that the Warriors were able to beat the Kings, because the Kings didn't really have that inside presence. That's not the way that you're going to be able to beat the Lakers. And so I'm really curious what the lever is that Kerr pulls. And I've been harping on this the last game or two. I think it's got to be Kuminga. I think Kuminga has to play in this series just because he is another big body and a big athlete. But if this game gets slowed down, because LeBron's going to slow it down. And then look, you watch the Warriors today, they are very comfortable playing slow. That is not the best usage of Kuminga. So I don't know. I'm hopeful that he gets some run. You could use 3 or 4 of his fouls against LeBron and AD. But what do you think, Kerr? Is there a lever for Kerr to pull in this series based on these matchups?
Ooh. I think the Kuminga one's tough. I see what you're saying. He's a body to throw at like even like LeBron. He actually did a really solid job his rookie year, giving LeBron like an issue during a game. But man, I swear those were his worst games this year. Kuminga's against the Lakers. Just Vanderbilt doing to him what Draymond did to Russell Westbrook, just like daring him to shoot.
But you mentioned this the last time we talked. Steph didn't play in a few of those games,
and Wiggins didn't play any.
So Kuminga's trying to do. He's trying to be a guy, right? He's trying to be a threat, and that won't be his role, because he's not going to be the guy that they need to just go and get an easy 2. He's going to be the beneficiary of the GP stuff, the lob, the putbacks, the crash the boards. And that's what they would expect out of him. So I don't know, but what do you think about Moody? Does Moody fit in this series?
I feel like Moody played so well this series that you can't not try him. I know it feels like the story for Moody has just been like stay ready, and he's only like a situational guy where some series he works, some series he doesn't. I feel like that shouldn't be like the total narrative around this guy. Like it seems like he's a try hard guy. It seems like, stay ready, does a lot of the right things. I don't know why he shouldn't see run in this specific series, but I'm interested in that Klay Austin Reeves matchup. I've been saying, we say how Klay gets cooked by those little small point guards, those quick small point guards. And I've been saying that I feel like, that slower bucket getter is more of the guy who Klay can keep up with, like the Jaylen Brown of last finals. I feel like Austin Reeves kind of fits that mold. I'm excited for that type of matchup.
He was up and down with Keegan, but Keegan did not have a great game. You could say that maybe the reason Klay's shots were flat because he was balling out as hard as he could on defense today.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of like okay, so just going to the teams here for filtered by this year's playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers I think are number 1 in rebounding. I believe. Okay, rebounds. Lakers 49.7 per game. That's number 1. The Warriors are number 5, 46.4 per game. What worries me because Anthony Davis is not Domantas Sabonis. Even their backup, who I think the Warriors will have a nice time dealing with, is Wenyan Gabriel. He's like I don't know, Nerlens Noel type of big, or like a,
He had 21 minutes this entire series against the Grizzlies.
yeah, and a lot of it came at that very game 7, maybe. But I just don't know if Looney, if he's gonna have this another type of, what he had against the Kings is like amazing, and almost feels like it can't be replicated anyways. But you know, Anthony Davis is a different type of monster, and I feel like Draymond Green is usually the guy who's been good on Anthony Davis. I'm just mainly wondering, like, okay, all this loon talk, I don't know where he fits in this series.
Well, he's going to have to battle for those rebounds, right? Anthony Davis.
We don't want him guarding Anthony Davis.
Well, and he doesn't have to guard him, but that's who he's going to be battling in the inside for
Yeah.
rebounds. Anthony Davis had 14 rebounds a game. LeBron had 11. So it's also Draymond, right? Draymond is going to have to battle, and you may see them play together a little bit more instead of separating them like they had done. Anthony Davis had almost 4.5 blocks a game too. Jared Vanderbilt had 1.5. It's so interesting how these minutes are, and I understand some of the Lakers fans maybe not super happy with the rotations, but Vanderbilt actually plays less per game than Rui does. Vanderbilt's at 20 in this series, this previous series against Memphis, and Rui was at 25. Austin's playing a lot. He's playing 36 minutes. D'Angelo is at 31. And Schroeder plays 22. Schroeder is a guy who can hurt the Warriors for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And Malik Beasley, I thought Malik Beasley would play a little bit more. He was only playing about 11 minutes a game. And then Troy Brown Jr. about 15 minutes a game. So Gabriel, he barely played. Lonnie Walker barely played. Christie barely played. Mo Bamba, 10 minutes in 6 games. And
I'm telling you, like all of those guys, like I was filtering their minutes and their number 2 lineup just by a per game basis. So a 9-minute per game lineup was that bench time lineup.
yeah.
After game 7, they were up by 30 going into the fourth quarter. Like they just subbed in everyone. And that's why Max Christie even logged a minute because of that type of lineup.
What is your biggest worry going into this series? Because the Warriors will have home court advantage. So, they won these 2 really hard road games. They still tend to play better at home. And so Warriors fans should feel pretty good about that. But what is your biggest worry about the Lakers?
Game 1, I think, is my biggest worry. Not even just of the Lakers, just game 1. I think that, the Warriors and the Lakers both had their game 6 on Friday. The Warriors did not get it done and had to go to a game 7. The Lakers got it done. So now they have been resting since since Friday night. And then the Warriors had to play today on Sunday, and the Lakers did not have to play today. They won their series, and they're going to be playing. They're going to have a 4-day rest, whereas the Warriors are going to have like a 1-day rest up until they play on Tuesday. So, even though the Warriors have this crazy home court advantage and, they're probably going to be favored, I worry about, this team. I don't want to be Malik Monk and call them old guys, but they're old guys. And I think that, they needed to win that game 6 just to I think they needed the rest. And I think that the Lakers have a actual chance to legitimately upset them in game 1, which I feel like is just not great especially when you have home court advantage, just because the Warriors messed around and didn't get it done in game 6.
My biggest worry is that LeBron has this ability to slow the game down and kind of dissect the game when he needs, and it's pretty much what Steph did tonight. But LeBron does that. He does that more often when he sees things get bogged down, and he's like, okay, this is how we're gonna have to do this. If Andre Iguodala was able to play, I think I'd be so much more comfortable, because Iguodala is that for the Warriors defensively. Like he can break things down defensively, like LeBron can break things down offensively.
Hey, careful.
What are you talking to?
No, you.
What?
We calling Iguodala LeBron on defense of what LeBron is on offense. We're calling Iguodala that on defense.
No,
You're
he's
just gonna get the Laker trolls coming after you. You have to be
no,
careful.
they don't care. He's just been there and he's guarded LeBron in the toughest times. And I'm not saying that this version of Iguodala could guard this version of LeBron. LeBron is so much bigger than him now, anyways. But I would just feel so much more comfortable that when you go to the bench and you have a Moody or you have a Kuminga, if you had an Andre, I would feel so much more comfortable about giving Andre a couple of shots just to kind of make sure things are okay in those moments. But you see him coaching on the sidelines, right? Every time Jordan Poole came out of the game, like Andre was standing up, he was in his ear. Moses Moody as well. So he's there. He's trying to make it as much of an imprint as he can in not playing. But my worry is that the Warriors defensively may get bogged down a little bit when LeBron decides to slow the game down and let's go possession. Okay, who am I going to point out on this court? Okay, we're going to get a screen, we're going to get a switch, and then I'm going to, do some stuff here. That's my biggest worry because no Andre and Kuminga didn't play. So if you put him into this series and you expect something from him, he did not get the reps in the last series to kind of to be in it, so that he may be a little cold. So that's my main worry. I think this series is going to be a great chess match. The part that you mentioned with the fatigue, that could
Mm.
swing game one.
That's
Totally
why
could swing game one.
I think it's specifically game one. I looked at the games because I wrote them down on my little calendar, but I'm pretty sure it's a 1 day rest
Yeah, for the entire
for the
series.
entire series,
It's
and
it's they play,
it's a
so
proximity thing.
it's Tuesday, then it's Thursday, then it's Saturday, then it's
Saturday, then
Monday, then it's Wednesday, then it's Friday, then it's Sunday again. So that's the rhythm of the whole series. Now, it's going to be very similar to this one in that, it's just a quick flight. So it's not like, you're flying
Well, they drove.
across country. But the flight to LA takes less than the
Yeah, like
drive to
45
Sacramento.
minutes.
So
Yeah.
so they won't have that, and hopefully that helps them a little bit. But are you ready to call your prediction here? What do you think is going to happen in this series? How many games?
To me, it feels like, I hate calling 7 because really not many series go to 7. I think I called 1 or 2 sevens. I think I called 2 sevens in the first round, and it was only 1 7, and it was the one I didn't call, which was the Warriors. So I just feel like sevens are just not likely. So I think I'm gonna go Warriors in 6. I think that, I think that this was an inspiring win against the Kings. I think if it was a close one, I'd feel a little more weary about giving them the edge in game one, but it was a pretty, they killed them. They waxed them. So I'm more inspired for that reason. What I've been getting a read on just by like stats, and I feel like it's kind of hard to take away from that Lakers Memphis series, with the weird stuff that was going on. Ja gets hurt in the beginning. It seems like he's not himself. They're missing, 2 of their key 7 guys in the rotation due to injury. Even like Luke Kennard, who was cooking for them, just can't play in the last game. So I'm getting the read that the Lakers, just by filtering through these stats and just going through the traditional and the advanced, is that the Lakers have the better defense, the Warriors have the better offense. But what I feel like makes me feel a little more confident is that I think the Warriors defense, when needed, is one of the best in the league. With some of the guys they got with Wiggins, Dre, GP2, Kuminga, if he plays, Moody's pretty solid on defense. DiVincenzo, of course. Just a lot of solid defenders up and down the roster that I think can hang with the Lakers. The Lakers just kind of got that size on them, and haven't the Warriors always killed size?
Yeah, they've killed size by going small and running, but they don't look like they want to run as much these
Well,
days.
Anthony Davis is like your perfect small ball 5, right? That's kind of always, it's been like that's why he's so great.
The whistle could hurt the Warriors in this series too.
What's been interesting is that it's kind of been a similar whistle for both teams, but you're right. The Lakers got some insane whistle in the regular season, but I think it's comparable if I was looking correctly. What is also comparable is they both turned the ball over a lot, which is fun for the Warriors, I'd say.
LeBron he barely made a 3 a game in this series, and he shot he shot like 7 of them a
Oh
game.
man,
He's
they were
like,
just messing around this series against the Grizzlies. Like they knew.
but when it comes to the free throw line, he got to the line 31 times. Davis got to the line 29 times. I haven't looked at the Warriors numbers as far as how many times they got to the free throw line, but it
Okay,
didn't
just
seem
looking,
as much.
I could tell you on a per game basis. I don't know how valuable this per game basis is, just because it accounts for that game 7 or game 6 for the Lakers, which was just an
Actually,
absolute
you know
killer.
what? Steph got to the line
5 times tonight.
more than both of them, more than both
Ooh.
LeBron and AD.
Steph's free throw attempts on a per game level, like just looking at from game to game, like felt very polarizing. Like it felt
Mhm.
like there was 13 one night and 5 the other night, and I couldn't tell you what he was doing differently in terms of like what he did to get to the line. It just felt like he either got him or he didn't. But the Warriors, yeah, they shot more free throws per game than the Lakers did so far in the playoffs. 25 attempts per game. The Lakers at 21.7 attempts per game. The Lakers shot it at an 80% clip. The Warriors at a 75% clip. I don't know if that factors in this game because,
Yeah, they were 5 of
whoosh,
14 in the 3rd quarter on the free throw line.
I think it does
That's
account for this game.
ridiculous.
That
That's
was like,
ridiculous.
if we lost, like, oh man, just because you couldn't hit your damn free throws, like
Yeah.
that is, that's like feels like every high school coach is like, just hit your free throws, man.
My prediction is I think they win in 7, and
You calling a 7?
I don't think a road team wins a game. I think it's home team wins every single game in the series. You know why? You know why I think that? The reason why I think that is because it's Steph versus LeBron. In when you need to win on your home court, your best players are not, are not going to play poorly, to
De'Aaron Fox.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He's not Steph and he's not LeBron. Like,
Mm.
these guys have the reps of being in the finals. Like, they played in the finals 4 times against each other. Like, how ridiculous is that? And this is only a second round series, but I'm calling every home team wins their game and the Warriors win the 7th game at Chase. And that's how close I think the series is going to be. Now, the chess match I think is going to be crazy because you're trying to find little things on the margins to be better, and sometimes it's just about your best 5 and our best 5. Jared Vanderbilt, is he going to hit shots like Malik Monk, or is he going to shoot like, yeah, he doesn't shoot as much as Keegan, but it's like, it's that stuff too. Austin Reeves never been in a big series. D'Angelo Russell, he's never, did
Never
he
been
even
in.
make the playoffs
He's never
before?
been past the first round, if
So
I'm remembering correctly.
So they're really relying on LeBron's Yoda mentality, and Davis has played the
Been the
Warriors in
better
the
one.
finals. I mean, in the playoffs a lot of times. The Warriors, remember in was it 15 or 16?
15
I
and 17.
Yeah, I think there was that one game where the Warriors had to make that crazy comeback, and Steph had to shoot that 3 from the corner where he couldn't see. Like, those games were like that because Anthony Davis was on the other side. So yeah,
I think what worries me though is that, like, how much this series means to LeBron. And I feel like if you want to be objective, like, I think LeBron has maybe been the 7th or 8th best player in the league this season, and we're used to him being like top 3 or whatever. But I think that in this series, like, if there is a switch that he's been waiting to flip, like, it just worries me that he's just gonna do it in this series. Like, this, how
that
much it means to him to beat the Warriors, to beat Steph. If like, 'cause I personally believe, and I don't think it's a hot take, that Anthony Davis has been the Lakers' best player in the playoffs so
Oh yeah,
far.
and at the end of the season because LeBron was hurt.
Yep. And so I'm just like, is LeBron just gonna do some turn back the clock? Of course he will. It's against the Warriors. Of course that's gonna happen. I
Okay,
think that's what's
one
worrying me.
caveat is LeBron still hurt.
Hey, I don't know, didn't he, what was his major quote? He's like, I saw the LeBron James of feet in Germany. So I don't know.
Because if he's still, if he's playing on this foot and it's not, even near 100%, maybe there is a limit to what he can do. Because we're giving the Warriors crap for every other day because they're tired, but this brother is 38 years old too. He's got more miles on him than anybody in the league. So
But he's like the
that's
greatest
something.
athlete of all time. So that's kind of scaring to me. It's like, does that guy get tired? I don't know.
I don't know, Steph. You would think Steph is supposed to get
Steph
tired
is the
too.
most well-conditioned athlete in the world. That's my opinion. But I think LeBron James is just like the greatest athlete of all time.
Even more than like a 4-minute 50-second miler.
That you're just fast. You're not. That doesn't totally mean you're well conditioned. I
That's
think it's the
stamina right
marathon
there.
guys. It's the marathon guys. It's the
20
Iron Man guys. Those are the greatest athletes of all time. Actually, the Iron Man guys.